Blog Talk Radio.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States.
Good evening, my fellow Americans. We now stand 10 years past the midpoint of a century that has witnessed 4 major wars among great nations. Until the latest of our world conflicts, the United States had no armaments industry. American makers of plowshares could, with time and as required, make swords as well. But we can no longer risk emergency improvisation of national defense. We have been compelled to create a permanent armaments industry of vast proportions. Added to this, 3.5 million men and women are directly engaged in the defense establishment. Now, this conjunction of an immense military establishment and a large arms industry is new in the American experience. The total influence, economic, political, even spiritual, is felt in every city, every state house, every office of the federal government. We recognize the imperative need for this development. Yet we must not fail to comprehend its grave implications. Our toil, resources, and livelihood are all involved. So is the very structure of our society. In the councils of government, we must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex. The potential for the disastrous rise of misplaced power exists and will persist. We must never let the weight of this combination endanger our liberties or democratic processes. We should take nothing for granted. Only an alert and knowledgeable citizenry can compel the proper meshing of the huge industrial and military machinery of defense with our peaceful methods and goals, so that security and liberty may prosper together.
And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. My fellow citizens of the world, ask not what America will do for you, but what together we can do for the freedom of man.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Live from beautiful downtown Shenzhen in Studio A, this is Tough Reality. We'll talk about anything that you want to talk about. Politics, religion, anything you don't discuss at the family dinner, we talk about here. Along with me today is wonderful engineer Kelly in Studio B. We're going to be talking about a lot of things tonight. Agree with me or not agree with me, call me. Come on the air. We'll discuss what you want to discuss. You can reach me at mike@toughreality.com. You can Skype me, MIKEAY2. You can get me on Skype. Call into our show. Listen to our show. Be attentive. All right. Thanks for listening. All right, everybody. How you doing? This is Mike at Tough Reality. toughreality.com coming at you live from beautiful downtown Shenzhen. It's 9 p.m. at night here in beautiful Shenzhen. East Coast, 9 a.m. We come at you every single day of the week, maybe exception Saturday. I'm not really sure, but we are Tough Reality. And we talk about many subjects on here, as we say in the intro. We have a little bit different structure after coming back from our hiatus. We were taking a break for about 10 months off of live shows, and we did a lot of tape shows, but now we are back. We're building our listener base back again. Thank you so much for everybody talking to me. A shout out to everybody and welcome me back to the table. And back to the beautiful Tough Reality microphone, the golden Tough Reality microphone. All over the world, all over North America, South America, all over Europe, Australia, all over Africa, Asia, North America, like I said, South America, Antarctic, Arctic, all over the world, including you aliens out there and you demons that are trying to listen in. This is Tough Reality. This is Mike. You can reach me at mike@toughreality.com and talk to me there. You can talk to me live on the air if you like to at 516-418-5917. That's 516-418-5917. Now, tonight we are going to be talking about business development, the tough reality of developing your business. So we're talking about, on this Wednesday nights, we're going to be talking about business ideas. We're going to talk about developing your business ideas. We're talking about how to be in business. I've been in many different businesses in my life. And so we're going to talk about the success and failure of business. We're going to talk about tools that you can use to build your business, both offline and online. We're going to talk about courses that you can use that I've found very effective, the courses to stay away from that, it's like a minefield out there that you have to really watch what you're doing and what you're not. And we're going to talk about a lot of those. We're going to talk about real estate on this show, how to invest in real estate, how to buy real estate, both residential real estate and commercial. Again, we bought and sold many houses in my lifetime, and also my buddy Adrian might be calling in here and there and everywhere on the show to have an opportunity to talk. He's a subject matter expert in many different things. And so during Tough Reality, during the week, he might be calling in at different times. You can call in, too. I gave you the call-in number. Give it to you one more time. We can usually take one or two calls during these segments. We have about 30 to 45 minutes. The call-in number is 516-418-5917. Business development. Oh, and by the way, Engineer Kelly is with me in the Studio B. How are you, Engineer Kelly? She's fine. Now, we're trying something a little bit different tonight with Engineer Kelly. We're trying to have her dial in using Skype. I'm trying to bring her on the air to see if we can do that, because I'm going to use her in some of the teaching, especially when it comes to affiliate programs. She's a very successful woman. She herself has ran businesses that have done very well in China, and so we're going to pick her brain. Now, she speaks Chinese, of course, fluently, but her English is impeccable. Now, she does have a very nice accent, but you Americans or any other people who speak English will understand Engineer Kelly very well. And so we're going to have her probably, for sure, if she can't log in today, we'll have her logged in on Friday. Friday we're going to talk about affiliate programs and Amazon, eBay, things like that. So we're going to talk about that. Tonight's business development. Tomorrow is dating. We'll talk about dating opportunities, how to date, different things like that. Questions, you can email me at mike@toughreality.com. If you have questions that you want to talk about, we will field those. You can follow us up on Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, or YouTube. You can also get out there on iTunes, search my name, Mike Aemisegger, or Tough Reality, and subscribe to our podcasts. There are two of them, one from Blog Talk Radio and one from Spreaker. So I upload the shows from Blog Talk right to Spreaker, and then you can listen to them at your convenience. You can download to your iPod or your iPad or your phone or your computer or whatever device you choose, and play them in your car and different times like that. So anyway, business development, we're going to talk a little bit about that tonight. The introduction to business development is, I've always had a bent towards helping people build business. I love business, a degree in business marketing, master's in IT, information technology, a lot of great things there. But business development, on many of my cards that I hand out to people, I have on the card specializing in business development. And all that really means is if you have a business, then I see it as my goal and my vision. One of the things that I do is to help you develop it, help it to grow, help it to change if it needs to be changed, move it if it needs to be moved, and sort of like a doctor looking at you for your physical. There might not be anything wrong with your business, but there might be just one or two tweaks that if you did those, you could make hundreds, maybe thousands of dollars extra every day. And so we need to look at our businesses from time to time, not just us, but other people, eyes on your business, fresh set of eyes, so that they can tell you maybe some things that you don't see. The business, and I know I feel this way, when we open the business and we have our business, it's like our baby. We don't want anybody to tell us our baby's ugly. Huh? We don't want to have anybody else tell us, man, your business really stinks. No, I don't want to hear that, really. But if you have somebody that can help you with your development of your business, it will help you grow. The baby can't go from the age of 1 month to the age of 2 years without you changing some diapers. You have to change some diapers because the baby messes its pants. You got to change the diaper, right? And so that's what you have to do with your business sometimes. Sometimes you need to change the diaper. Sometimes you need to change the approach. Sometimes you need to change the type of people you're approaching. Sometimes you need to change the type of offers you have. If it's an online business, I have many different offers. Sometimes my offers are not appropriate to different people. For example, a man might want an offer that helps him find a good girlfriend, but he might not want an offer that sells him a bra. Okay, he doesn't need a bra. So I've always said this in business: traffic and people plus offers equal cash. Traffic plus offers equal cash. No, that's not completely true, but most people, if I say that, they agree with it, because it's the right traffic of the right people to the right offer that will equal cash. If I send offers to men about buying bras, there might be one or two that buy a bra for their wife, but most won't. If I send an offer for, different things that guys like, and I send that to a group of women, my sales are going to be very low. Look, if I sell women's blouses, I don't want to have a lot of traffic coming into my store of men unless they're buying gifts for their wife, for the women. Okay? So the business development person like myself specializes in looking at a overview of your business. They look at your policies and your procedures. They look at some of your ways you hire. They look at some of your financials. They look at your structure, your organization, your HR. They look at the CEO, CFO, CIO. They look at the people that are involved in the different pieces of your business. If it's a manufacturing business, they might look at your manufacturing side of the business. If it's a services business, they might look at the services side of the business. Now, why do they do that? Because they want to get an accurate snapshot or picture of how your business is. Okay? They want to be able to coach you. They want to be able to encourage you and help you go to the next level, so to speak. Now, many people, they think that they can just look at their business and then they can make an evaluation and make a judgment on what they can do. Yes, at the very low levels, that's not a problem. If you have 1, 10 employees, maybe that's not a big deal. But if you get 20, 30, 50, 100 people working with you, working for you, you need to look at an overview of your business by somebody else. Okay? And I think that most people, if they do that, will get an increase in revenue. It's almost impossible to not get an increase if you don't change something in the right direction. Now, I'm not talking about somebody coming in there and they flip-flop all of your stuff. They change your policies and procedures. They change your HR. No, I'm talking about metered change, M-E-T-E-R-E-D, metered change. What that means is you make a change, you test it, and then after you test it, you evaluate it. If it was successful, you implement it on a permanent basis. So you evaluate, you test, you implement. Okay? So if you don't do that, if you do it out of order, you just try to change a bunch of things, you'll have a disaster. You'll break the business. Okay? Some people do that. Some people just go in and say, well, we need to change this, we need to change that. No. Stop. You need to evaluate the business. You need to look at the different pieces of the business. Look, if you have a car, you take out the battery because you think it'll make a good change. Guess what? The car don't work. Right? So we as business developers, and I might be speaking to a few of you out there, we must look at the businesses that we evaluate from a high perspective, from what I like to call the 30,000-foot level first. Then focus in. Then lower yourself down to like the 10,000-foot level. Then down to the street level. Look at those different levels of the business and see how they operate. See what might be changed. See what could be changed without impacting the business too much. Because small incremental change will yield big results. Let me say it again. Small incremental change will yield big results. So it isn't this big change that you make where you have to change your CIO, CFO, all your management team, and then no. Small changes. I believe 10% changes. 10% change will change your revenue. 10% change will change your bottom line. 10% change will change how you do business and the way you do business. And when you make that change, when you really implement that change after it's been tested and you have this feeling and you see the increased revenue, then you have the motivation. Then you have the proof that you can make little changes in your business and you can have good, big successes in your business. So a business developer, as they come in, they look at a lot of the different policies and procedures. For example, how you hire people. The questions you ask. You know, this might seem like a small thing, but if you're a one-man business and you want to work with a partner, wouldn't it be great to know the questions you should be asking that partner to make sure that they have your best interest at heart? Even if you're going to be going to them for money, you want to make sure that that partner is on your same sheet of music, so to speak. If you're going to hire somebody to work for you that's an outsourcer, I've had many outsourcers work for me. You want to ask the right questions so you don't have a nightmare. Imagine paying somebody and they don't do a job for you that you wanted done for the amount of money that you paid them in outsourcing. Or you're hiring an employee for your brick and mortar business, your regular on-the-street business, and you hire somebody, but you don't ask the right questions and they wind up being a thief. You know, you can ask questions in an interview that will give you some indications if there's going to be some problems with this employee. They're not illegal. You don't call and ask a person, are you a thief? Okay? There are ways to ask people questions that will determine the type of personality they are, and it will determine if they can work within your business. Now, on Tuesday, we talked about personality and how to use personality. We talked about that. Well, you can do the same thing here. Use tools like that to develop an understanding of the type of we talked yesterday about 4 different personalities. And when we know those, when we're in the interview, when you're interviewing the person, the potential client, the potential outsourcer, the potential partner, potential worker who's going to work for you, you can ask a few questions, find out the type of personality they are, and you can then determine this person is going to be good for my business or this person is going to be bad for my business. It's really up to you. But a developer can help you with that. Think of a developer as a person who is doing some maintenance on your business. He's like the painter of your house. You know, you say, hey, I'd like to have this room be pink, this room be blue, this room be white. Okay? You come to the business developer and say, look, I want some changes in my HR. I'd like to make more money in my financials, and I want to have some more customers that are satisfied. Okay? Those are starting points. Now, the painter does not come back to you and ask you, how do I paint this wall? He knows how to do that. The business developer doesn't come back and say, well, what should I do? Well, who should I talk to? What should I do in HR? what should I do with your financials? No, that's their job. They're supposed to do that. They look at, they evaluate, they come back to you and say, look, these are some changes we can make. We won't make all of these at the same time, but we can make these little changes here, a little change here. Let's start with those two. You make those changes. You test those changes. And then, if they're successful, you implement those changes. Honestly, if there's no loss to the business, any change that's accomplished can help your business. Now, you might say, Mike, that's taking so long. I want to make money right now. Really? Everybody wants to make money right now. In fact, most people want to make money yesterday. They don't want to make money tomorrow or today. They want to make it yesterday. I want the money yesterday. Well, I understand that. Everybody wants the money yesterday. It's true. You'd rather have $1,000 US right in your hand right now as opposed to zero, right? Of course. Or if you're in China, you'd like to have a 10,000 RMB in your hand right now, right? Of course. But you know what? If you plan and build your structure properly, the business will provide for you for many years to come. Not just, quick cash and you're out. You're not going to win the lotto here. Business is, let me give you a little bit of business advice. Business is hard work. Let me say it again. Let me say it in Chinese. Business is hard work. Doesn't matter how you say it. Doesn't matter which language you do it. Business is hard work. If it wasn't hard work, everybody'd be a millionaire. Everybody'd be a successful business person. I can't tell you the amount of times I've spent late nights. I can't tell you how many times I've gone with 2-3 hours of sleep. I can't tell you hundreds. Mike, I don't want to do that. Then maybe you should get a job. I'm being honest. Look, I'm a business developer. I'm going to be honest with you. If you don't have the motivation to go out and drive and push and try this change and that change, sometimes, like for example on my website, sometimes I will do 100 changes in one day. 100. Why would you do that, Mike? Because I don't like it this way. Maybe I don't like this color. Maybe I don't like the way these words, the size of the words. The size of the words? Maybe I don't like this picture. Maybe I don't like this name. Maybe I don't like the way this is structured. Maybe I don't like the frame. Are you kidding me, Mike? That sounds like a lot of work. It is a lot of work. But I plan on making a lot of money. A business developer, someone who comes to you and gives you some, how about this? Gives you some secrets that you don't know, that when you implement, you find some golden nuggets. Gold that you can keep getting every month. You pay the developer maybe one time. But the implementation, the motivation, the things that he does for you, oh my, they can last for a lifetime, really. Now, again, you're going to need to find the right developer, right? You're going to need to find the right tools. That's the purpose of our show. If you are a business developer, I want you to email me, Mike@toughreality.com, and tell me you're a developer. And you businesses out there, if you want a developer, then what I want you to do is you email me and say, hey, Mike, I want a developer. You do that, okay? Then I will vet. Now, for you who don't know, vet means to check out, ensure that the people who are business developers are good developers. I will vet them for you. Then I will actively recommend these people. I'll put their names up probably on my Tough Reality site. And on that website, I'm going to put up a tab. Now I'm going to revamp the Tough Reality site. So you're going to see some changes of color, changes of buttons on there, and we're going to move to a button feature so that information about each day show is under a button. And then we'll probably have one show page that's just the general posts that we do. Okay? So the reason I'm telling you this is because you business developers, if you want an opportunity to market yourself on my website, and we get thousands of visitors every day, then I'm going to give you that opportunity. Also, you business developers, I'm going to help you if you're just starting out give you some tools, things that you can use to help people that are out there, that are trying to work with different things. I'm going to give you recommendations on what I use for autoresponders online, recommendations of what I use for marketing. Now, see, my first degree was marketing, business marketing. So I'm right up your alley, business developer. I will help you, okay? And then you people who have businesses out there, if you want your business developed, if you want somebody to come and look at your business, talk to you about your business, then guess what? I'm going to help you. We're going to vet those people, and we'll match you up. And we're going to put their names up on the website. You'll be able to see them. And you can then email them. You will get the information that they have, their Skype ID, their location. Some business development can be done from a distance. So if you're in New York City and you're interested in getting your business a little more development, then a person in Los Angeles could still work for you. That's right, because some of the policies and procedures, the different things are all documents that can be scanned and sent to that person. Now, there will need to be meetings. Now, you can use Skype. Skype is a handy tool. I can see you. You can see me. I can see your face. I can see that you're dressed, not in some underwear, not trying to do your business online like a little hokey Pinocchio, Elmo Peabody. So I can check you out, right? And so the business owner and the business developer can meet, and they can chat with each other live online. And so you'll be able to discuss the different things that you might want to change, the different types of things that you might put in play. Now, like I say, there might be sometimes that the developer needs to fly to you. That's understandable. Could happen. But many different contracts I've had to look at businesses, to look at websites, to look at recommendations for how to get more customers, how to do better sales, how to do this, how to do that, have all been online. Most of them. I've had 2 or 3 I've had to go to, but most right online. See me on Skype. In China, we use a thing called QQ. If you're interested in that, you go to QQ International. You can look me up and find me. We can practice on QQ. That's the Chinese version of, it's sort of like a Skype, but it's more of a chat thing, sort of like a messenger, and then also has a Weibo, which is like Weibo is just like Twitter. It also has a thing like Facebook, which is called QZone or QSpace. So very similar things. You can acquaint yourself with that, and maybe you're going to develop your business inside of China. Well, if you're going to do that, guess what? I'm right here in Shenzhen, China, and I can help you start to develop your business inside of China. We'll help you with the tools, and we'll help you with the contacts. Engineer Kelly is a valid and a very valuable resource to me. She's, of course, perfect Chinese and very good English. So if you're thinking about doing business in China, if you're thinking about moving some of your business to China, well, guess what? We might be able to help you do that. Now, I'm not promising anything, but I am telling you that the exciting thing is that we can all hear this stuff. We can all do this stuff, and we're here to help you. We're here to make it good for you. But for me, I believe that many people are afraid to develop their businesses because they're afraid of their little baby being attacked, right? Well, that's not going to happen, okay? We're going to make it so that you're very comfortable, you're very excited about what we're going to do. Now, over the next however long we go on our show, until Jesus comes back, however long that is, we're going to always be on Wednesdays, business development. Wednesday's business development day. Remember, Monday, tough reality, current events, politics, religion. Anything you don't want to talk about, we talk about on that show. You call in, yell at me, tell me what you don't agree with. We have open lines so you can really talk about any topic. Tuesdays, we talk about, remember, personality. We're going to talk about personality, how to find personalities, how to find different personalities, how to define them. Wednesdays, we're going to talk about business development, and we're going to talk about real estate and things like that. How to grow your business, how to multiply, not just add to your business, but how to multiply your business. Multiply. You said, multiply, Mike. I like that idea where it says, multiply my business. Well, we're going to do that for you. And Thursdays, we're going to talk about dating. Fridays, we're going to talk about affiliate marketing. But remember, the best part is the first day of the week, Sunday. We're going to be talking about love God, love people. A little bit of singing, a little bit of preaching, a little bit of praying, and a lot of power. A lot of power coming at you, and we're excited about that. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to end the show right now, and I hope you enjoyed yourself. I hope you liked hearing what we did today. Go ahead and email me, Mike@toughreality.com, and it's Mike, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.